Kenny, LA 4-7 without LeBron James. Won't be with the team tonight. Also won't be with the team Saturday for the game in Houston. Now, it's just start of what is a brutal stretch of games for the Lakers here, and really a pivotal one as we're in the second half of the season for the team currently sitting in 8th place in the Western Conference. Pardon me, 9th place in the West.
Yeah, I mean, anything in the West is difficult. I don't care if it was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks from now, or 3 weeks prior. All of these games in the Western Conference matter. Teams are such in a cluster fighting for those 6th, 7th, and 8th spots, actually 5 through 8. So this could be dynamic in a bad way for the Los Angeles Lakers.
You're breaking your pen.
Yes.
Throwing it around.
Yes. So it could be dynamic. I mean, you know, you can't go on a 2 or 3 game losing streak in the Western Conference and expect to be in the playoffs. It's that close, and it's going to be that close all year. There's only one team that would say that would not make the playoffs in the Western Conference is Phoenix Suns. Everyone else can viably say if we go on a 5-game winning streak, we're in the playoffs.
Right. Lakers beat the Bulls by 7 the other night. They've had home losses to the likes of the Knicks and Cleveland.
I watched both of them.
So how do you evaluate how this young group has done without LeBron?
I mean, when you have greatness, to me, it's easier to play well. When you have greatness, you know, overachieving is what you define what players can do. When we looked at last year, Donovan Mitchell and the Utah Jazz, they overachieved. You know, that dictates on what your future could be individually. But when you're playing with greatness, when you have a LeBron on the floor with you, you have a Anthony Davis, or you have Kevin Durant, or Klay Thompson, and things of that nature, and Steph Curry, that doesn't define how good you are. Mm-hmm. You know, that just defines how good they are. But this defines everyone from coaching staff to players, and it actually also gives us the management an opportunity to see, well, what guys are actually have the ability to play in any kind of situation. Because those are the guys who come to play and have the same rituals and same routines, the same work habits, and then produce the same way. Mm-hmm. You know, that dictates, and they produce into wins.
One quick note here while we're talking about the LeBron-less Lakers, and that's the late game against OKC. Before we get to OKC, just want to mention Serena Winters, the courtside reporter for the Philadelphia 76ers, is reporting that Joel Embiid will play tonight. So that's good news.
Well, usually when he's on the court in a uniform with grapes,
right,
laying on a couch on a table, that means he's usually playing.
Right. So Joel Embiid, dealing with back tightness, will indeed play tonight for the Sixers. That's the front half of the TNT doubleheader at 7 o'clock Eastern. Let's get into the Thunder, who is in the back half of the doubleheader against the Lakers, a team that's coming off of some surprising games lately. They are the best defense in basketball this year. And the other night against the Hawks, they gave up 142 points to what is the second worst offense in basketball.
Yeah, well, this team has been consistent, though. You know, you're going to have an instance where things aren't typical of who you are. You know, even the best drivers have an accident, so to speak. But I think
that's true. Is that statistically true? Yeah.
I would agree. I think that everyone's had a fender bender, even the best drivers. But what happens is that's not consistent of who you are, and I think that what the injuries to the front line when New Orleans went out, that changed the rotation a little bit and got them off track slightly. When they have their whole unit together, they're athletic, they defend, and they challenge. They don't block every shot, but they challenge every shot because they know that they're not a great three-point shooting team. Right. So in terms, the game does get shortened, and they don't take as many shots as typically as a Golden State. They don't take as many shots, early in the shot clock as other teams that are fighting for, the top of the West. So they are, to me, the most unique. They're a 90s basketball team.
Interesting.
They play like they're in the 90s. And that still wins, for sure.
Right now, the Thunder in the 3rd spot in the East, and you mentioned Nerlens Noel, who had that really scary, not only contact to the head, but then the fall. He's cleared to play for tonight.
Yeah, so and that's the difference, because when I've said this over the years, and you're kind of a newbie, so you might not have heard it, but you think about, you're a newbie with me. So, right. But the
I think
thing,
it's the 3rd straight year doing this.
Yeah,
That's right.
I think when let's say your best two guard is out. And then all of a sudden your best small forward then plays some two guard. Your best power forward kind of moves into the small forwards. Everyone's just off. Doesn't mean that they can't handle it for a while, but everyone's off. When he's coming off, he's their best big coming off that bench that creates that style of play, like you said, of defending the rim, slowing the game down, making sure that we get touches. Because even you think of him on the offensive end, you don't think that, wow, Nolan's Noel is going to be such a difference. Nolan's going to be such a difference. But when he catches the ball at the high post, he's not looking for a three. He waits. So that's 2 or 3 seconds he holds the ball. He finds the guard. Then he comes and sets the spin. Then that's 4 or 5 extra seconds in a possession that you take because he's on the floor. That changes the way you play now. And he's a guy who makes them play in a certain style. He helps that style. So having him back is going to be big.
The Thunder look forward to getting those 13 minutes per game back tonight.